the next person. You can't cultivate the life that you want trying to conform to everybody else, taking on everybody else's theologies and philosophies, and it's not going to work that way. It never does, and it only lasts for a short period of time. So where does your faith really lie? Does it lie in man, or does it lie in God? Where does your faith stand at? Who do you believe in? Really? Do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you're God? Can you walk on water? Can you split the Red Sea? Can you change the heart of bitter people? Can you get these people off the street that's selling their bodies and selling their souls in the music industry? Do you have the power to free innocent people that's locked up? Do you have the power to bring justice to the families that lost people that's been buried in our backyard? Do you have the power to find these suspects that's walking in our communities free? Do you have the power to do that? If you don't, you're not God. And the way that you're carrying yourself out of fear and out of doubt is is poisonous, it's toxic. You're hurting and killing yourself. It's okay to learn. It's okay to get answers and get truth from other people. You don't know where you're going to get it from. You don't know who's going to teach you something. And that's all I gotta say. Um,
Each one definitely teach one, and each one definitely reaches one. And I think I believe that it depends on your perception, not only your perception, how you was raised, to see and view the Bible, to see and view God for what it is. Because truth be told, the Bible was never meant to take seriously as far as how you say that directly. It's the Bible was more so in symbolism and allegory. And it takes you to read between the lines and discern the truth between those symbolism and allegories to begin with. So when they say the sun walks on water, for what we can see is the sun reflecting on the water, not an actual physical person walking on water. The world we live in the Bible, it says man created, well, Adam created Eve from his rib, right? The world we live in, woman give birth to children. It's not that we come out of a woman come out of man's ribs and that's how we came into existence. So that's why I'm saying as far as like the Bible is not to be seen as direct, if that makes sense.
One thing that I want to add to everything that has really been said, something that stands out for me, in between the lines, actually, funny that you say that, Nairobi, is the best way that we can have faith and the best way that we can act on that faith is to not take ourselves so seriously. Because the more we're willing to lighten up on ourselves, this allows us to practice forgiveness for ourselves, which means that the grace that we give ourselves is also the grace that we provide to others. And it's only through that grace, through that lack of taking oneself so seriously, that we open up the realm of possibility. The more we take ourselves seriously, the more we take a situation seriously, the more we can only see the situation for what it is. And the more we can only react or respond to what's in front of us. However, the more we lighten up, the more we're able to step back and not see a circumstance or a person's actions as happening to us, but an experience that we are invited to play in. We then are able to understand what else is possible. From this situation, from this experience, what else is possible? What other outcomes can I create by living in that realm of possibility? And I think the more that we're able to do that, the more we're able to understand our true power and how faith has more to do in our lives than our decision making, than our thought processes, than our ability to control anything. Our ability to just live in the realm of possibility by not taking ourselves so seriously is probably one of the greatest gifts that we can give to ourselves, which means it's a gift that we can now share with others.
And I want to add on to what Melvin said earlier about, are you God? Can you do this? Can you do that? I believe that we all host and have God within. I don't believe that God is some type of sky daddy. I believe that God is within us all. So with that being said, it's like, if you know the God within, you know self, basically. And it's about the message you're conveying, the message that you're portraying to the world at the end of the day with that God knowing self, basically. So it's like, you can know that you have God within, but what are you doing with that knowing? Are you are you creating a change within yourself first, so that others around you can be affected by that change, but in a good way, positively, or you're in basically your ego base and you believe that you are God in the flesh, and you're causing harmful interactions with others, and because you're ego based and you're thinking that you can do what God does in the flesh, but you're actually causing more harm to yourself than anybody, if that makes sense. So it's like, I don't know. Like I said, it depends on people's perceptions of belief and their mentality, their mind state, because that's really what matters, is the mentality, the mind state of one, individual collectively at the end of the day. Give me what?
A lot of a lot of uh, a lot of Jews dropped here. A lot of them. Lots of them. Moving forward, I to respond to Nairobi. Uh, for me, you can't serve two masters. So the things that I try to think about when I go about my day is like, am I doing things that would allow God to stay here, or am I doing things that's going to make him leave, and you know I'm replacing him with things that I should not be inviting in, because we spoke on this before about opening doors. Once you make certain decisions based on flesh and things of that nature, you allow and give permission to the enemy to come in and take refuge within your vessel. And so you confirmed something when you said you have God in you. because you absolutely do. Knowing that I try to be a little more responsible with what I'm feeding myself and more mindful of my conversations and what I'm reading and what I'm listening to. I've drastically changed my type of music and my lifestyle since this year passed. From January to now, it's been a whole different outlook on a lot of things. And to Jason's point, I I got a habit of taking things too serious. I'm not gonna lie about that. Cause you get in your head and it's like, man, these bill collectors, man, they keep on hitting me up, man. They leaving me all these emails and they calling my phone excessively every single day. Like, man, I don't know. And then I start panicking and I start doing things irrationally. That's not faith. That's not really believing. That's not even, you know, you basically putting extra pressure on yourself that you shouldn't be. So now it's just like Hakuna Matata, man. I'm just like, man, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Real.
Let me tell you something about faith. I exactly what you're saying. Like when the outside world and the external world gets to life and you're in the middle between, okay, do I trust you or do I take how do you say